Namaskar and hello. Welcome to Shridevi Classes YouTube channel, a channel designed to inculcate interest and confidence in science and engineering education and to build strong core competency with right understanding and clarity of concept. Today in our playlist, Class 12th Physics, we'll study solutions of some important problems related to electric field and potential of charge conductor sphere. So let's start. We have given a charge conductive sphere of radius r and amount of charge uniformly distributed over the surface capital Q, and if the electric field strength on the surface of this sphere given by this relation kq by r square is E and the potential on the surface given by this relation kq by r is V, then we have to find out electric field intensity and potential at an internal position at a distance half of radius and to an external position equal to 2r 2 times of radius of sphere. Both distances are considered from the center of the sphere. So we know a charged sphere for all external observation behave like a point charge concentrated and acting from central position, and at a distance r from its center electric field of that q charge at a distance r is follow inverse square relationship and it is kq by r square, and as we move closer to this spherical surface electric field intensity increases and become maximum over the surface where small r become equal to capital R, and this electric field on the surface is kq upon r square and it is given as capital E. In this electric field, when we move a unit positive charge from infinity to any distance r from center, the amount of work done known as potential of that position is given by kq by small r. Electric potential of spherical charge have inverse relation with distance of observation position, and as we move closer to its surface electric potential increases, and for small r equal to capital R it become maximum, and this maximum value kq by r potential of surface is given as V. Now for internal position, we know all charge of conductor sphere remains only on the outer surface. There is no internal charge. It is presence of charge which produce electric field. So without any internal charge there won't be any internal electric field. So internal electric field at a distance r by 2 from center is 0. Since there is no internal electric field, so there won't be any potential difference within conductor sphere. So potential at any internal position is also potential of surface. So potential at r by 2 distance is equal to surface potential, and electric field at r by 2 distance is 0. Now consider the external position which is having a distance small r equal to 2 times the radius of sphere. We know electric field got inverse square relation with distance of observation position, and since observation position is 2 times radius, so when we make square it is 4r square, and kq upon r square is electric field on the surface which is also the maximum electric field produced by the sphere anywhere. So from surface value at 2r distance from center electric field become 1/4. If this distance was 3r then it will become 1 by 9th as per inverse square relationship. Similarly potential got inverse of distance relationship. At 2r distance electric potential become half of surface value V by 2, and if distance is 5 times capital R from center the potential will become 1/5 of surface value. We have to find out the maximum amount of charge and the potential that can be given to a sphere of radius r if placed in air. So we know a charged spherical conductor having charge q behaves like a point charge acting from its center for all external observation position. So from center at a smaller distance electric field intensity is given as 1/4 pi epsilon q upon r square, where epsilon is permittivity of air and 1/4 pi epsilon is easy to remember figure denoted by a letter k, which is 9 into 10 to the power 9. As we move closer to spherical surface, at surface where small r is equal to radius of sphere electric field become maximum kq over r square at the surface, and it is clear that for a fixed radius of sphere surface electric field intensity will increase with amount of charge on the spherical surface, and if we increase charge on the spherical surface electric field intensity keep on increasing, but this increase of charge or increase of surface electric field intensity got a limit, and that limit is decided by dielectric strength of surrounding insulating media. And for air, the breakdown voltage gradient or dielectric strength or the maximum electric field intensity which that insulating media can sustain is 3 kilovolt per mm or 3 into 10 power 6 volt per meter. When we convert millimeter into meter, this 3 kilovolt become 3 into 10 power 6 volt. So if electric field intensity over the surface of this sphere exceed this limiting value, the breakdown of surrounding air will take place and leakage of charge will start from spherical surface. So the maximum electric field intensity which we can build by charge over sphere is limited to 3 into 10 power 6 volt per meter. So for a sphere of radius r, the maximum amount of charge that can be produced would be given as this r square when side is shifted comes to numerator and k to the other side in denominator become 9 into 10 power 9. So this charge must be less than this particular value or at a limiting case equate to this value. So for 1 meter radius, the maximum amount of charge which is permissible on a spherical conductor is only, if we solve it for r equal to 1 by 3 millicoulomb. So charge cannot exceed from this 1 by 3 millicoulomb limit, as exceeding charge amount will increase surface electric field intensity beyond dielectric breakdown strength of air, and air cannot sustain its insulating property or charge on the sphere. We can increase charge on sphere only when we increase a radius of sphere, and 1 meter radius is quite a large size. In fact, this unit of charge coulomb is a relatively big unit of charge, and 1 millicoulomb or 1 by 3 millicoulomb is also considered as a higher amount of charge. Practically, charge on conductor bodies are of the order of microcoulomb or nanocoulombs. Similarly, we can find out surface electric potential which this sphere can build in this electric field when we bring a unit positive charge to the surface of this sphere. The amount of work done known as surface electric potential is given by kq by r relation. If I multiply r in numerator and denominator, it becomes kq upon r square multiplied by r. Kq upon r square is surface electric field intensity, and maximum permissible value of surface electric field intensity is 3 into 10 power 6. So surface potential is maximum electric field intensity multiplied by radius of sphere. If sphere got 1 meter radius, then the maximum potential which can be built over that 1 meter radius sphere is 3 into 10 power 6 volt. That's a quite huge value. In 1D graph generator, we use similar principle and take a higher radius sphere so that we can build higher amount of potential, and select a dielectric media surrounding conductor sphere with higher value of dielectric strength, such as inert gas nitrogen at higher pressure or sulfur hexafluoride gas. Such high potential generated by 1D graph generators are used to produce strong acceleration to particles in particle accelerators. We have given a charge conductor sphere of radius r, and total amount of charge capital Q is uniformly distributed over its surface. We have to find out ratio of electric field intensities and potential for these observation position 1 and 2, which are at a distance r1 from surface and radially r2 from surface, as shown here. We know for all external positions a charged conductor sphere behave just like a point charge acting from its center. So with Q charge at a distance smaller from its center, spherical charge electric field is given by relation kq by r square, which is inversely proportional to square of the distance of observation position from the center of sphere. Similarly, in this electric field, when a unit positive charge is brought from infinity to any distance r, amount of work done or potential of that position is given by relation kq by r. That is also inverse of the distance of observation position from the center of the sphere. So in both those inverse relation of electric potential and electric field intensity, this small r distance is measured from the center of sphere. So for this first observation position, which got a radial distance of r1 from surface, the distance from center point will become r plus r1, and similarly for this second position having radial distance r2 from surface, the distance from center will become r plus r2. So the ratio of electric field intensity at these two positions, which is inverse of the square of the distance, got this relation r2 square upon r1 square ratio. Here r1 and r2 respectively distance of first point and second point from center of the sphere, and in this inverse square relation for this numerator position of E1, this R1 will come in the denominator, and similarly for E2, R2 square will come in to the other side in numerator. Now R2 is R plus capital R2, and similarly this small r1 is capital R plus R1. So when these values are substituted, we will get a ratio of 2 electric field at first and second position as this one. Similarly, potential got inverse of the distance relation. So for V1, R1 is to the other side in denominator, and similarly for V2 as denominator position in one side, R2 is at numerator position, and here R2 is R plus capital R2, the total distance of this second observation position from the center of sphere, and similarly this is distance of first position from the center of the sphere, R plus R1. So this is ratio of potential. If R1 is equal to radius of sphere and R2 is 2 times of radius of sphere, then the distance of this first position from center is 2r and distance of this second position from center is 3r. So this ratio of E1 is to E2, electric field intensity of this first position, and E2 electric field intensity of this second position is 3r square upon 2r square, or 9:4. Electric field is stronger at closer position and it decreases as we move away. And for these distance r and 2r from surface, distance from center is 2r and 3r, and as per inverse square relationship, electric field intensity got a ratio of 9:4. And similarly, potential for R1 equal to R and R2 equal to 2R got a ratio first position potential V1 to second position potential V2 as 3:2. Two concentric charged conductive sphere have radius capital R1 and capital R2, and they have respectively surface charge capital Q1 and capital Q2. We have to find out electric field at an external position to both spheres, that means at a central distance R1 which is greater than radius of second sphere, and at another point which is in between two sphere, this R is greater than radius of small sphere R1 and less than radius of bigger sphere. To find out electric field at this position at a distance R1 from center, we construct a Gaussian surface. For spherical charge, it is common center sphere passing through observation position, and we know as per Gauss law, total flux coming out of this Gaussian surface of radius R1 is equal to ratio of sum of charge enclosed, that is Q1 plus Q2, divided by permittivity of medium epsilon naught. And as per symmetry, over this Gaussian surface, electric field intensity shown by red arrows is radial outward, and area vector of spherical surface is also radial outward in the direction of electric field, and magnitude of electric field intensity is the same everywhere on this spherical surface. So total flux coming out of Gaussian spherical surface is equal to strength of electric field, that is E1, and total spherical surface area of Gaussian surface 4 pi R1 square. And if we equate total flux as product of electric field intensity and spherical surface area equal to sum of charges divided by permittivity of media and rearrange things, then we will find that electric field is equal to K Q1 Q2 upon R1 square, where K is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0, or 9 into 10 to the power 9. This relation of electric field intensity clearly indicates that for these external positions, both charged sphere acts like point charge acting from its common center, and the sum of two charge Q1 and Q2 acting from this center will produce electric field as shown by this yellow highlight at a R1 distance from center. We can also get the same result of electric field intensity at this R1 distance position by superposition. As per superposition principle, at R1 distance, electric field of Q1 charge is K Q1 upon R1 square, and similarly for this Q2 charge acting alone, electric field contribution at R1 distance which is external to it is K Q2 upon R1 square, and both electric field of Q2 charge shown by a red arrow and Q1 charge shown by black arrow are in the same direction. For positive charge it is radial outward, and it is simply added up to give resultant electric field as shown by this relation of blue frame, K summation of two charge divided by R1 square. Now in this electric field, if we move a unit positive charge from infinity to R1 distance, since this electric field is equal to a point charge of Q1 plus Q2 value acting from this central position, the amount of work done become potential of this R1 distance, and it is given by this yellow highlight relation as V1 K summation of Q1 plus Q2 upon R1, which is again confirmed by superposition principle. principle, as electric field of this q1 charge at this external position is k q1 upon r1, and similarly for this q2 charge which act if alone, then electric potential contributed here is k q2 upon r1. So summation of two charge potential is this one as shown by this green highlight. So we can say that for these external positions, the charges of these two concentric spheres will act together from this central position as a point charge of some value q1 plus q2 and will produce electric field intensity and potential just like that of point charge acting from central position. Now if q1 and q2 are equal in magnitude but opposite in sign, q1 is equal to minus q2, and in that case sum of the two charges q1 and q2 becomes 0. So positive q1 charge produce radial outward electric field and negative q2 of same magnitude produce same amount of radial inward electric field, and vector summation of these two electric field become 0. So when sum of these two charges is 0, both sphere got equal and opposite charges, then resultant electric field at all external positions become 0, and in that 0 electric field, if we move a unit positive charge anywhere in this space or over the surface of this outer sphere at r2 distance, the amount of work done will become 0. So potential either on this surface of outer sphere or external to it is 0 if q1 plus q2 is 0 in this case. To find out electric field intensity and potential at this observation point, which is in between these two spheres at a distance r from common center of two spheres, this r is greater than radius of inner smaller sphere and is less than radius of bigger outer sphere. To find out electric field intensity at this observation position by Gauss law, we have constructed a closed Gaussian surface which is again a sphere of common center and radius small r. Now as per Gauss law, total flux coming out from Gaussian surface is equal to total enclosed charge, that is charge of inner sphere divided by permittivity of media, and this flux contribution has no concern with charge on outer sphere, and due to symmetry the flux is equal to strength of electric field multiplied by total spherical surface area of this Gaussian surface 4 pi r square. So E into 4 pi r square is equal to Q upon epsilon. When simplify, then it will give strength of electric field as K Q1 upon r square, where K is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0, and this electric field is the same as that is produced by this spherical Q1 charge which act as a point charge from center and at a distance r from Q1 charge. Electric field intensity is K Q1 upon r square. Now this result can also be proved from superposition principle, as for this external position, if we consider action of this inner spherical charge, then this charge acting from its center will contribute this much amount of electric field intensity, and for external spherical charge the internal electric field contribution is always 0. So total resultant electric field is only due to charge of inner sphere. So in between these two spherical surface, the electric field contribution depends only on charge of inner sphere and it won't depend on charge of outer sphere. Now in this electric field, amount of work done in moving a unit positive charge from surface of outer sphere to surface of inner sphere, that is from r2 distance from center to r1 distance, the amount of force on unit positive charge is E, and if you make displacement elemental in radial direction opposite to direction of E, then elemental amount of work done is minus E dr. Here negative sign is used as displacement is considered in opposite direction of electric field intensity, and total work can be obtained by integration with these two limits. Now in place of electric field intensity we can write K Q1 upon r square minus K Q1 will come out of integration. 1 over r square got integration formula minus 1 by r with limit starting at a distance r2 from center to a distance of inner sphere having radius r1. Now this minus minus become plus, and when we take limits, the potential difference between two spheres comes as K Q1 r2 minus r1 divided by product of r1 r2, and this relation clearly indicate that potential difference depends only on charge of inner sphere, and in this potential difference calculation this charge of outer sphere has no concern, as this electric field in between two sphere is produced by charge of only inner sphere. Now if by any action this Q1 charge becomes 0, then in that case there won't be any electric field in between two spheres, and in 0 electric field there won't be any potential difference. For Q1 equal to 0, this potential difference between two spheres will become 0. So electric field in between two spheres at a distance r from common center, electric field is contributed by charge of only inner sphere as kq1 upon r square, and potential difference between two charges again depends only on charge of inner sphere, and it is kq1 r2 minus r1 divided by product of r1 r2. So electric field and potential difference depends only on the charge of inner sphere, and it has no relation with charge of outer sphere. And if q1 is positive, then electric field of positive charge sphere is radial outward as shown by red arrows, and electric field is directed from high potential to low potential. So inner sphere got high potential, and potential difference between the two depends upon charge of inner sphere. Similarly, if inner sphere got negative charge, this q1 is negative, then its electric field is radial inward, and since electric field is directed from high potential to low potential, so now this inner sphere will have low potential and outer sphere have higher potential, and potential difference is again depends upon magnitude of this q1. If by any mean we connect these two spheres by any conductor wire, then in that case in electrostatics, two conductor connected by a conductor would have identical potential everywhere. So to make this potential difference zero, there could be only two possibilities. If this r1 radius expand and become r2, then this r2 minus r1 becomes zero and the potential difference becomes zero. But r1 is a rigid sphere and it cannot expand. So the other possibility is that this q1 will become zero. That means the whole charge of this q1 sphere, whether it is positive or negative, will go to outer sphere irrespective of polarity and amount of charge on second sphere, and in that case there won't be any internal charge on inner sphere, and electric field in between two spheres becomes zero, and there won't be any potential difference between two spheres. Both spheres become equipotential surfaces. Let's end this learning video with this interesting problem. We have given two charged conductor sphere. Inner sphere got plus 2q charge and outer black sphere got minus q charge, and there exists a potential difference between these two spheres which depend on only charge of inner sphere equal to 100 volt. Now if by any action we double this minus q charge as minus 2q charge, then we have to find out potential of this inner sphere. So we know if we change charge of this outer sphere, this change of charge will not change electric field produced in between two spheres, as this electric field solo depends on inner charge, and potential difference in that electric field also depends on inner charge only, and since inner charge is not changed, so the potential difference will remain 100 volt even when this outer sphere charge is doubled. When charge of outer sphere is doubled, that means it is made minus 2q from minus q. For these external observation positions, if we consider sum of charges of these two spheres q1 and q2, then this sum plus 2q and minus 2q become 0, and for these external positions both spherical charge will act as concentrated point charge acting from this central position, and since this sum charge is 0, so electric field contribution by these two charges, radial outward of positive charge plus 2q and radial inward of minus 2q charge, are equal and opposite, so resultant electric field becomes 0, and in this 0 electric field, if we move unit positive charge from infinity to surface of outer sphere in 0 electric field, total amount of work done is 0. So the potential of outer sphere when q1 plus q2 is 0, and potential difference won't change as charge of inner sphere has not changed, so it will remain as 100 volt, and potential of outer sphere is 0, potential difference is 100 volt, so potential of inner sphere will become plus 100 volt. We hope study of solution of these problems has improved your understanding about electric field and potential of charge conductor sphere, and if you practice little more on similar type of problems, definitely it will enhance your score in examination and that will build confidence. आप अच्छा पढ़ें, तरक्की करें, हैव नाइस टाइम। फिर मिलते हैं एक नई खूबसूरत सूचनाप्रद लर्निंग वीडियो के साथ। थैंक यू वेरी मच।